When the film begins, we're introduced to Louise, a linguistics professor who's struggling with the recent loss of her daughter. One day, as she walks into her classroom to give a lecture, the calmness of her routine is shattered. Phones begin to buzz among her students, ending in one of them requesting her to switch on the news. The broadcast that unfolds before them is unprecedented. UFOs have descended into various parts of the USA, part of a group of 12 extraterrestrial objects that have landed across the globe. The following day, Louise returns to a deserted college campus. In her office, a man enters and introduces himself as Colonel Weber, an Army officer. He acknowledges Louise's past work in translating for Army intelligence and her active security clearance, presenting her with a new task. Colonel Weber plays a recording for her. It's an audio of a human team attempting to communicate with aliens. Despite her expertise, she struggles to provide answers based on the audio alone, which frustrates Colonel Weber. He abruptly leaves her office, having expected more. However, the night brings a dramatic turn. Louise is startled awake by the sound of helicopters landing near her house. Colonel Weber reappears, this time instructing her to pack her bags immediately. They embark on a night journey via helicopter, during which Louise meets her future collaborator, Ian, a physicist specializing in the field. They draw closer to the UFO's location in Montana. Upon landing at the army camp near the UFO, Louise and Ian are quickly integrated into the operation. They're taken to the main part of the campus, a hub bustling with activity. Colonel Weber briskly escorts them to their respective teams, outlining the mission's priorities, establishing communication with the alien visitors. Without delay, Louise and Ian are suited up in hazmat gear, poised for their venture into the unknown realm of the UFO. Soon after, Louise, alongside Ian, Colonel Weber, and a few other team members, embark on a journey into the alien ship. Approaching a window-like structure inside the ship, the team prepares to initiate communication. Abruptly, the aliens make their presence known, emerging in a cloud of smoke-like substance. The sounds emerging from them are strange and unfamiliar, leaving the team in awe and a bit of fear. Louise is pressed by Colonel Weber to commence translating the seemingly indecipherable noises. Returning to the base, Colonel Weber informs Louise that they only have a few hours to make some headway in communication before their next encounter with the aliens. Determined, Louise and her team re-enter the ship, this time armed with a whiteboard. She writes the word human and approaches the aliens, hoping that visual communication might prove more effective. To her surprise, the creatures respond, disappearing momentarily before reappearing and presenting symbols in their language. In their next encounter inside the ship, Louise boldly writes her name, eliciting a symbol from the aliens in response. In a daring move to enhance communication, Louise removes her suit, believing that a more direct interaction is necessary. As she approaches the window, the aliens mirror her actions. She shows them her name again, and one of the aliens presents a new symbol. Encouraged by this breakthrough, Ian also removes his suit and introduces himself. The aliens reciprocate with two additional symbols. As global tensions escalate, the world outside the alien ship descends into chaos. The media is awash with reports of violent riots and massive protests triggered by a leaked image of the aliens. Amidst this turmoil, Louise continues her work on translating the symbols, but her efforts are intermittently interrupted by touching memories of her daughter. The following day brings new urgency. Colonel Weber arrives at Louise's door, seeking her expertise in translating a live broadcast of General Shang on a phone call. He informs Louise that China and Russia are preparing their military against the UFOs. The gravity of the situation intensifies as Colonel Weber urges Louise to ask the aliens the critical question of their purpose on Earth. Back inside the ship, Louise, Ian, and their team attempt to formulate this all-important question. When the alien responds, the team anxiously awaits Louise's translation. The message is translated to "offer weapon," a phrase that immediately sparks controversy. Back at the camp, Louise and Ian argue in defense of the aliens, suggesting that the distinction between a weapon and a tool might not be clear in the alien language. Colonel Weber, desperate for clarity on the aliens' intentions, urges Louise to communicate with them again. Agent Halpern, joining the discussion, voices his suspicions that the aliens might be manipulating humans into conflict. The situation grows more dire as alarms blare, and they learn that China and Russia have ceased communication, with orders for their team to do the same. Despite the escalating crisis, Louise insists on continuing their dialogue with the aliens to decipher the meaning of the latest symbol. Amidst the tension, news reports indicate that General Shang has called for urgent talks at the UN, fearing that the aliens' actions could further divide humanity. Meanwhile, Captain Marks and another soldier, carrying a concealed bomb, make their way into the ship. Despite orders to the contrary, they proceed with their plan, undeterred by calls to stop. Inside the ship, Louise and Ian initiate communication with the aliens, just as Marks and his team set the bomb. As security forces converge on the ship, the aliens become aware of the impending danger. In a tense moment, Louise touches the barrier separating them from the aliens, triggering a flood of visions involving her daughter. One alien teaches her their written language, revealing the complexity of their communication. The bomb's timer counts down rapidly. In a decisive moment, one alien escapes while the others continue to communicate with Louise and Ian. Gunshots ring out outside the ship as the bomb reaches its final seconds. In a heroic act, the remaining alien pushes Louise and Ian to safety, sealing a hatch between them and the explosion. Louise and Ian regain consciousness back at the camp. The camp's doctor briefs her on the events that transpired, informing her of the team's plan to evacuate due to the escalating situation. Despite this, Louise feels a strong conviction that they should not abandon their mission. She insists that they need to communicate with the aliens about the recent attack and maintain their presence as long as the aliens remain. As they deliberate, a peculiar noise captures everyone's attention outside. Stepping out, they witness the UFO altering its position, a clear indication that it has not yet departed. Meanwhile, Agent Halpner communicates with his superior, who informs him that China is prepared to destroy their UFO, raising concerns about the potential alien retaliation. The news reports echo this sentiment, with General Shang issuing an ultimatum to the aliens: leave China within 24 hours or face destruction. This stance seems to be influencing other countries' strategies as well. Back inside, Ian shares a significant breakthrough regarding the data they've collected. He believes that the information represents only one part of a 12-piece puzzle. He and Louise present this theory in a meeting with Colonel Weber, suggesting that a collaborative effort among the 12 host countries is essential to comprehending the aliens' message. However, Agent Halpner is skeptical, pointing out that the Russians have already resorted to violence, killing their lead scientist on the project. In the midst of this discussion, Louise experiences a sudden, profound insight about the aliens. She abruptly leaves the meeting, closely followed by Ian. To their astonishment, a shuttle from the alien ship descends to retrieve Louise. Inside the shuttle, a mysterious gas fills the space, transporting her to the other side of the ship's window. There, she finds herself face to face with one of the aliens. Their communication flows more naturally this time. Louise again inquires about the alien's purpose on Earth. The alien reveals a startling truth. In 3,000 years, they will require humanity's assistance, and their current visit is to help humanity in preparation for the future. Confused about how the aliens can foresee the future, Louise is bombarded with the visions of her daughter, not memories as she initially thought, but glimpses of her own future. The alien then leaves her with a cryptic message: "Weapon opens time." This revelation not only deepens the mystery surrounding the aliens' intentions, but also unveils the extraordinary nature of their communication and their perception of time, suggesting a far more complex and intertwined relationship between humanity and the alien visitors. After her enlightening interaction with the aliens, Louise is returned to the ground by the ship, which then shifts its position once more. On the ground, she's greeted by Ian and Colonel Weber, who inform her of the escalating global situation, Other countries are following China's lead, preparing for military action against the UFOs. The camp is being evacuated as tensions rise, and the alien ships worldwide begin to reposition themselves, signaling an imminent confrontation. Louise finds herself caught between the present chaos at the camp and future moments with her daughter. In these future glimpses, she sees herself opening a book she's written, and back in the present, she's analyzing the data from the aliens. The book, it turns out, is about the alien language. Through visions of herself teaching this language in the future, she recalls and comprehends it in the present. This realization leads her to a breakthrough. She can now read the alien data and understands what the weapon truly is: a gift. Louise tries to explain to Colonel Weber that the alien language itself is the gift. Learning it allows one to think like the aliens, perceiving time non-linearly, experiencing both future and present simultaneously. However, Colonel Weber is skeptical and reluctant to accept her explanation. In another vision set months into the future, Louise attends an international celebration and is approached by General Shang. He reveals that she played a pivotal role in changing his mind about the aliens by contacting him on his private number. Confused, as she doesn't know his number in her current timeline, General Shang shows it to her, saying, "Now you know." Armed with this knowledge in the present, Louise rushes to call General Shang using Agent Halper's phone, unbeknownst to him. As Halpern learns of the unauthorized call and dispatches his men to find the caller, Louise on the phone struggles to decide what to say. Guided by her future conversation with Shang, she repeats the exact words she will say to him in the future. Amidst the chaos, with Halpern's men closing in, Ian protects her as she completes the call, confidently declaring her success. The climax of the movie unfolds in a news report. General Shang, influenced by Louise's call, announces at an emergency press conference that China will stand down and share all its information with the other 12 countries hosting the alien ships. As a result of this newfound cooperation, the alien ships begin to depart Earth's atmosphere. The movie concludes with this monumentous shift, marking the end of a global crisis and the beginning of a new era of understanding and collaboration, enabled by the extraordinary gift of the alien language. Let me know in the comment section below if this one had you on the edge of your seat. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next movie recap.